What's up, YouTube? This is Red Develosa from Red Develosa Reviews. I'm back here again, and a different format, but we're here to celebrate a big special occasion. It is the 20th anniversary of the SpongeBob movie.
Woohoo!
So yeah, and I'm back here, but I'm back here with my good friend Operation Bagel. What's up, Operation?
What's up? What's up? I'm excited. This movie's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, like I don't think it's that complicated to explain SpongeBob and how much he and the franchise has meant to all of us growing up.
There's so many
Uh,
people. It's
yeah,
it's it's iconic at this point.
yeah, it's kind of like our generation's version of The Simpsons in a way.
In a sense, yeah.
This year was a special year. The franchise was celebrating its 25th anniversary on July 17th. And here we have the 20th anniversary of the movie that was originally meant to be. Some people say it was supposed to be the end. Some people don't agree with that here or there. I think one thing that was like kind of like particularly interesting, especially from the late Steven Hillenburg, I always thought that SpongeBob was like kind of an interesting protagonist to follow. Like he's not really the traditional sense of like older Nickelodeon cartoons or any sitcoms really. Like usually they're kids going through school, having their own issues and stuff like that. But something that made SpongeBob stand out is that not just because he's a sponge, he also has a job and he's like a working class kind of person. And it's a little different. I know there was like always there was some back and forth between Steven and Nickelodeon's like idea on how SpongeBob should be characterized, but I always thought that was an interesting thing. And I think one of the big themes, especially for this movie coming off of the first three seasons, is like because like the film is essentially about SpongeBob going through a midlife crisis in that sense, where he is kind of like put down because he's too childish. He's not able to get out of these like tendencies here and there. And he just feels like, no, I got to be a man. I got to be a hero. I got to save the day. I got to do what I got to do. And obviously
Mm.
learns that you just have to be yourself and you can still do the same great things. And I always thought that was a great kind of thing, especially here we
Nice
are,
lesson there.
kind of in our mid 20s at this point. Well, like we can still embrace like the importance that our childhood used to have and all that stuff. So I always kind of thought that was a very nice lesson.
Yeah, yeah. It just means something like yeah, us and so many other adults, still like still hold this franchise in such a strong like view.
And of course, there's going to be a lot of references to SpongeBob and different
Hmm.
aspects. So just that's to be a given. I know Operation you actually got to hear the cast do their a table read at a Comic-Con for the 25th anniversary. Would you like
Yeah,
to explain that?
yeah, yeah. New York Comic Con this year. All the major voice actors came out and yeah, they did a table read of Band Geeks. The first scene when Squidward is when the first night when Squidward's trying to teach him how to be a band, it's like is mayonnaise an instrument? And whoever is the owner of the white sedan, you left your lights on. Yeah, all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really great to see that in person.
Yeah. And I've always wondered like, seeing voice actors talk it from their cartoon voice and their real voice, like how does that feel in person?
Yeah, it's like yeah, because you see when you see like the face to a voice kind of, but then like they talk normal, and then like they can just they switch right to the voice actor. It's like whoa, but it's like a good thing because it shows like they're really good at their job. Like they're great voice actors too.
Yeah, yeah. I actually, when I was in like Comic-Con in my state, I'm not going to reveal the location. There was Tom Kenny there, but like the money was like really expensive at that point, so I couldn't actually see him. But like I heard him like speaking to other fans, and he was using the SpongeBob voice here and there. It's just incredible guy. I did have like a giant like Lego minifigure, not minifigure, like a Lego build of SpongeBob. I'll also like attach it in the video when I'm editing it in. Yeah, the franchise really does mean a lot. But of course, we're here for the main event, the SpongeBob movie. When
Da,
was
da, 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 da. I won't do the whole thing with it.
yeah. So when did you get to see the movie?
I saw this when it first came out when I was how old was I? 6. Then yes, and since that I've seen it a lot more times since. It's so rewatchable, so good.
Yeah, I didn't get to a chance to do that. I was 4 years old when it came out, but I did watch it many times. All the reruns, all the just like general like, I just want to watch the SpongeBob movie, and I watch
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's of course like a lot of SpongeBob lines. The movie's very quotable. There's a lot of GIFs and memes from the movie itself as
Hmm.
like they were in the episodes. I think that's always been such a thing. Like whenever you hear a SpongeBob reference or you just know where that is coming from, and I always appreciate that. The movie starts off basically on a pirate ship, and there's they're all looking for treasure. And it's they got the accomplishment, they got the treasure, and then they
Hmm.
bring it up. And what's inside? Not
Tickets to the SpongeBob movie.
Yeah. And I it was a fun fact. They have thought about like, having Patchy and Potty as like the pirate there, but like I think the creators are kind of thinking like, oh well, the charm of Potty and Patchy are like they are mainly meant to be in the low budget format, that it's kind of like if you put them in the high budget movie, then like the audience might get confused on like who are they, or like why are
Hmm.
their effects or jokes so bad kind of a thing. So that's why
Uh,
they decided not to have them and just had like a separate pirate. And yeah, I can understand that. Patchy, of
yeah, I
course,
get it.
played by Tom Kenny himself as well. But yeah, yeah. And I've loved the like when they sing the SpongeBob theme in the men's choir kind of way.
Yeah.
It was very nice as well.
SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, great.
Yeah, and then during the whole montage, they're entering into the movie theater, they're wreaking havoc. All the popcorn, the drinks, everything is a mess. And but once they get in, they're all with the popcorn in hand, the swords like going down the stairs and then into the front row seats and ready for the SpongeBob movie. And then yeah, then it cuts to the inside where they're watching the SpongeBob movie. And it starts off kind of pretty serious. Everybody's crowding around the Krusty Krab. There seems to be danger going around. They got the cops around. Everybody calm down. SpongeBob enters in a black car, and he comes out with a cowboy boots and all that stuff. And talk to me, Mr. Krabs. Talk to me, Krabs.
It's very, yeah, it was very serious. There was the customer ordered a crappy patty with cheese, but when he took a bite, no cheese.
And then SpongeBob slaps him. Get a hold of yourself, Eugene. I'm going in. Yeah, and then SpongeBob goes in. Phil, he's inside all alone, very terrified of what's going on. SpongeBob comes in, brings in a briefcase. It's just really scared, man.
You
Got a
got a
name?
family, Phil? Come on, Phil, stay with me. Let's hear about that family.
I got a wife and two beautiful children. That's what it's all about. I want you to do me a favor, Phil. What?
Say cheese.
And there's this huge like slow motion like he's defusing a bomb,
Yeah,
but he's
he's putting
putting
a
it in.
slice of cheese on the sink.
And then he has Phil in his arms, opens the doors and order up. And everybody's cheering. Three cheers for the manager. Hip hip. And then there's the foghorn. His alarm clock goes off. It was all a dream. And yeah, that's how it starts off. And yeah, so SpongeBob, he's pretty happy for today. It's gonna be basically it says that the Krusty Krab 2, they're gonna have a new manager announced. And he's saying, like, why do I think he's gonna be employed like be the manager? Well, because I need to check my wall of 374 consecutive Employee of the Month awards. And
Yeah,
it
so that's how long?
that's
30
31
years?
years.
31 years.
Yeah, so that roughly puts SpongeBob about, so he's 14 in the first episode, like in Help Wanted. And
Hmm.
if
So
you
he's
kind of do the math around, it could be around 45. But there's also the fact that like, so there are some discussion points as to like what about seasons 4 through 14 that they're at right now. And there is like so I mean there have been rumors like Steven has intended the movie to be at the end of the franchise and everything else goes inside basically. But then there's like that's not true. So it's kind of hard to say like what is the true thing. And plus like there have been like episodes like where somebody else wins Employee of the Month, like the one episode where Squidward was being nice because he got electroshock therapy. Uh so and then he won the award. But then that means he would have lost, and then you have to get like 31 years straight of consecutive wins. So I mean it's cartoon logic, sure. But I do still kind of appreciate it, the movie, like in the sense that like, oh, it's like it is pretty much a midlife crisis. Like he's clearly a man, but he's still having like this old childhood kind of like childish nature that people are trying to get him to get out of and all that stuff. So I think it makes sense in terms of like the theming of the movie. He's very confident that he's going to win. There's no way he could lose. I mean, he's got all these awards. He's done his job so efficiently. He loves his job. I mean, there's no way he could lose. So he gets ready, and you got a few visual gags that are well known, like the
And he's
putting
getting ready. He brushes his teeth. He brushes his eyes with the toothbrush.
yeah. So yeah, he's getting out. I'm ready. I'm ready. Then
Ready? Promotion.
it cuts to the inside of Squidward's house where he's just la-da-dee, la-da-doo, la-da-dum. And then SpongeBob is joining in, scrubbing his back. And Squidward, obviously annoyed, was like, whatever it is, it can wait until it can't it just wait till we get to work. There's no shower at work. So what do you want? I just wanted to say I'll be thanking you in my managerial acceptance piece. And then he kicks him out the window. He goes next door to Patrick's house. Sounds like the new manager of the Krusty Krab 2 is here. Patrick's encouraging his friend, of course. After my big promotion, we're gonna party till we're purple. I love
I
being
love
purple.
being purple.
And then we're gonna go up the place where all the action is. You mean? You don't mean. Oh, I
Oh,
mean.
I mean.
And then they sing the Goofy Goober song.
Oh yeah.
SpongeBob goes back to the Krusty Krab 2, still very confident that he's gonna win and all that stuff. Then it cuts to the Krusty Krab 2, where Perch Perkins is interviewing Mr. Krabs, basically saying, why'd you open the Krusty Krab 2?
Never gave you the idea to open a second Krusty Krab right next to the first one. Money.
Don't forget the hello, I like money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Plankton is watching. He's very upset. He's just went through this whole time and he didn't have one single customer. Yeah, again, don't really think about the future seasons where he does have customers, but yeah,
Mhm.
ignore that. That was the meme of the constipated
Yeah. And then
Plankton as well.
he's really mad.
Yeah, so Plankton's like, I've tried every single plan from A to
A
Y.
to Y.
A to Y? Yeah, A to Y, the alphabet. What about Z? Z? Z, the letter after Y. So then Plankton walks to the cabinet. X, W, X, Y, Z. Oh, like you said. Yeah. Uh, yeah, Plankton always like had like he is like an evil genius, but like there are some instances like where he just like forgets like the most mundane or basic things that he should probably know, but like that's a part of his charm. And then he reads into the plan. Oh, it's diabolical. It's evil. It's lemon scented. And yeah, I didn't know if you caught that reference. It was the from that Mermaid Men and
Yeah, it's
Barnacle Boy
yeah,
episode.
every villain is lemons. I didn't know that at first. I catch that.
This plan is, it seems very foolproof. There's no way it could lose, kind of a thing. You know what? Let Krabs have his day. Let him enjoy, bask in the glory. But tomorrow, that's when the real shit will happen. All hail Plankton. All hail Plank. It's stepped on by a cheerful SpongeBob. Here's Plankton saying, like, I was like, I'm not gonna go over the Krusty grand opening of the Krusty Krab. I'm gonna take over and like rule the world. Well,
Well, good luck with that.
good luck with that. It goes to the front where Mr. Krabs is unveiling the grand opening of the Krusty Krab 2. SpongeBob, of course, making up a scene. Yeah, yeah, oh, now we're talking. Once he stops, Mr. Krabs, well, the new manager is a hard-working, loyal employee. Yes.
Yes.
The obvious choice for the job. He's right. A name you all know, and it starts with the letter S. That's me. Please welcome our new manager, Squidward Tentacles.
Yes. Yeah. And another meme right here when he's going, yeah.
Yeah, so SpongeBob continues to cheer all the way up to the stand. So he's trying to give a speech. People at Bikini Bottom, as new manager of SpongeBob. Hold the phone, folks. I'm getting important news flash from Mr. Krabs. Go on, Mr. K. I'm making a complete what of myself? It's the most embarrassing thing you've ever seen. And now it's worse because I'm reading everything you say on the microphone, phone. Yeah, so then Mr. Krabs speaks up and you didn't get the job. SpongeBob is broken. Why? It's like, of course, like you maybe have some of the great qualities. You're a great fry cook, but Squidward got it because it's a big responsibility. And let's face it, he's just more mature than you. SpongeBob doesn't really understand. And he's saying, I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible, but there's a word for what you are, and that word is, well, let's see, dork? No, not a dork. A goofball? Closer, but no. A dingling? Wingnut? A knucklehead
Knucklehead
McSpazitron?
McSpazitron.
Okay, that's enough. It's because you're a kid, and to be a manager, you got to be a man. Otherwise, to call it kidager. You
You
understand?
understand?
I mean, you understand? Yeah. So, so SpongeBob kind of gets the message, upset. I'm ready. Depression.
Depression. I'm ready. Depression.
And while he's walking away, Mr. Krabs feels bad for SpongeBob, but in comes Patrick
Comes
flying
naked
on a banner.
Patrick with the flag between
Go
his ass. Go
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, and then he crashes in. It pretty much destroys the stage. Everybody runs out because it starts a fire. Let's hear it for SpongeBob. Hello? Where'd everybody go? Did I miss something? Did you see my butt? It cuts to later in the evening, and we see a castle out there, and here comes Plankton flying in a jetpack. Now it's time to put Plan Z into effect. We're not really sure what it is yet, but we cut to the inside of the castle, and it is King Neptune putting someone on trial. So you have confessed to the crimes of touching the king's
Touching the
crown.
king's crown.
Yes, but what? But it's my job, Your Highness. I'm the royal crown polisher. Well, then I guess I can't execute you. 20 years in the dungeon then. And then Princess Mindy, voiced by Scarlett Johansson, tells no, you're free to go. Neptune and Mindy just go in a back and forth about why do you always defy me, and then why do you have to be so mean? But then he's like, so you kind of get like a few ideologies from these two characters right here. The king is all about status, authority, wants to put that iron fist down, and then Mindy, of course, wants to show the love and compassion, even if, but at least do something that is fair. Neptune and Mindy, they decide to just continue this conversation. He shows the helm, not the helmet, the crown. Do you know what this is? The crown? What does the crown do? Cover your bald
That was
spot?
your bald spot?
It's not bald,
Or
it's
it's fitting.
and this crown does so much more than slightly receding hairline. No, it represents like who is in charge, somebody that's going to rule the sea. And then one day you're going to wear the crown. I'm going to be bald? Thinning.
Ending.
And the point is, no, you can't really learn how to wear it without having an iron fist. And then he puts the crown onto the pillow where Plankton looks over. Then he puts it back on his head, but instead of the crown, the pillow is on his head because the crown is gone. Somebody took it. It's been stolen. He asked for the guards, like, search the castle. Somebody has stolen the crown. And outside, Plankton has the crown in his hand, flying away. He has got it. Plan Z is now in full effect. Then he flies past the Goofy Goober ice cream party boat, and then you got your song there.
There's
I'm the
a
Goofy
goofy
Goober, yeah.
goober, yeah. You're a
You're a
goofy
Goofy Goober, yeah.
goober, yeah. We're all goofy goobers,
Goobers,
yeah.
yeah. Goofy,
Goofy,
Goofy
goofy,
Goober,
goofy,
yeah.
goofy goober.
Meanwhile, in the back, SpongeBob is at a bar. He's just sobbing, continuously upset about what happened. But he tries to get himself together. You just got to stop thinking about it. And, it starts to work. He feels a little bit better. I don't remember why it was sad. And then Patrick walks up behind him. Hey, it's the new Krusty Krab 2 manager. And then SpongeBob starts crying again. Wow, the pressure's already setting in. I've missed like these kinds of because like I've been watching like a lot of SpongeBob episodes for a particular video I'm working on. Patrick's sense of dry humor is like something I miss a lot. Like his timing in particular. No, Pat, you don't understand. I didn't get the promotion. And yeah, why? Because Mr. Krabs thinks I'm a kid. That's insane. Well, it's like if you're a kid, then that's like saying I'm a kid. And then he gives him the goober meal, the waiter, and
It's,
then
it's
I'm
like I'm
supposed to
supposed to
get
get
a
a toy
toy
with
with
this.
this. And then the waiter throws like a hand puppet at his face. Thanks. So yeah, SpongeBob was like, I'm just gonna go home. I did, what's the point? All right, see ya. And then the waiter gives the triple gooberberry sunrise. SpongeBob takes a listen and he thinks that sounds pretty good to have. I could use one of those. Now you're talking. The waiter gets one for him and they just chug it down and that hit the spot. And he's feeling better already.
They
Let's get
essentially
another
get drunk
round.
on ice cream.
And yeah, they just keep eating and eating, and they're pretty much to the point of where they're drunk. Waiter.
Waiter, waiter.
Eventually, they're so drunk to the point where they go to the peanut guy, and it's like, I got my two best friends in the world, Patrick, this peanut guy, and we're gonna sing this little song I like to
They
call
call
Wait.
waiter.
Then it pretty much goes to the morning. It's 8 a.m. SpongeBob is like wrecked. He is hammered.
Hungover, essentially.
He's hungover. Yeah. The waiter wakes him up. Hey, get out of here. Just go home. I want to go home, pal. And SpongeBob with his 5 o'clock shadow, drunken eyes and all that stuff. Just take your friend and get out of here. Ah, Patrick, my good friend, my good buddy. Oh, it's 8 o'clock. I'm going to be late for work. Late to see Mr. Krabs.
Mr. Krabs.
So yeah, it cuts back to the Krusty Krab too. Mr. Krabs is pinning the manager pin on Squidward's shirt, saying, "Oh, as a manager, you got to keep a sharp eye, looking for paying customers." And through the telescope, he sees that King Neptune is riding towards the Krusty Krab. At lunchtime, he's got a lot of money. Neptune tells his daughter to stay in the coach. This won't take too long. Mindy is pleading with him, I think you're just overreacting, and I know what I'm doing. And then there's this little joke I found funny. He bumps into the Krusty Krab pole. It's like, "Ow, Squire,
Squire, have this
yes,
poll
Your Highness,
executed.
have this pole executed at once." So yeah, just some more things that show like, yeah, the king will get pissed at anything that bothers him. And then inside, Squidward looks up, $101 for a Krabby Patty.
With cheese, Mr. Squidward, with cheese.
And Neptune comes in. So Neptune is wearing a paper bag on his head. That'll be important in a second. And he's seeking the one that is known as Eugene Krabs. And Mr. Krabs, that's me. Would you like something to eat? No. I'm on to you, Krabs. You've stolen the royal crown. You cannot deny. You might be clever, but you left one damning
Has moved his
piece of
hardcore.
evidence at the scene of the crime. Krabs reads it. I stole your crown, sighed Eugene Krabs. Yeah, so Mr. Krabs doesn't know what he's talking about. Neptune is trying to pressure him. Get the crown back to me right now. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And then there's a phone call happening out. Goes to the answering machine. Hi, Mr. Krabs. This is Clay, the guy you sold Neptune's crown to. Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks again for selling me the crown. Neptune's crown. I sold it to a
Well,
guy in Shell City,
the crown
and
designed
I just
specifically
wanted
for
to
Neptune.
thank
Neptune's
again
crown.
for selling me the crown, Neptune's crown.
Neptune's crown, which is now in Shell City.
Goodbye. And yeah, each time like Neptune gets more and more mad, and Krabs is like trying to destroy the answering machine, but it just won't stop. And then Krabs does break it at one point, but it's still,
It still
yeah, it's
goes.
in Shell City. Goodbye. Don't you just hate wrong numbers? And yeah, Neptune freaks out. It's in the Forbidden City of it's the crown is in the Forbidden Cell City.
Shell City.
Yeah,
He's,
and
he's,
Plankton was on the other side of the line, and he heard that Plan Z is working. It's Working very well. I love Plan Z. And now Neptune is so pissed at the point, it's time to burn Krabs. And Mr. Krabs, no, he starts crying, pleading for his life. "Yeah, I'm begging, I'm not a crook. Ask anybody. They'll vouch for me." So Neptune's like, all right, if that's what you say, let's see which one of you customers can defend this crustacean. What do you have to say about him? And then in comes the drunk SpongeBob. I got something to say about
So let's say
Mr.
Mr. Krabs.
Krabs. And Mr. Krabs is happy to see SpongeBob. Yeah, he'll say the thing. You just came right in time. And yeah, SpongeBob is so drunk, like he refers to Neptune as like a woman. And so so just tell King Neptune about me. Yeah, and as I've worked for Mr. Krabs for many years and always thought he was a great boss. You see, great boss. And now I realize he's a great big jerk. I deserve that manager job, and you said because I was a kid. Well, I'm 100% man, and I got
Man.
something to say to you. And then blows like a
And
big
he speaks to
raspberry.
him in rock bottom language.
There, I think I've made my point. Mr. Krabs just is so shocked, but he turns his eyes like to Neptune. Well, no, anybody else? No? Well, okay. Then he turns on the fire, and SpongeBob gets out of his drunken state. Mr. Krabs gets hit with the fire. Oh, my pants are on
On
fire.
fire. Me
Me
underwear's
underwear's
on
on
fire.
fire.
I'm on
I'm on
fire.
fire. And then so then he jumps into like a bucket of water. And now, Eugene Krabs, you will. Then SpongeBob goes right in between. Wait. And then it's like SpongeBob's like, I'm flattered that you would do this on my account, but being a manager isn't worth killing Mr. Krabs over. So yeah, so then Neptune's like, quiet. The crown is in Shell City, and that's why he needs to die. Doesn't it seem a little harsh to kill someone over a crown? It's like you don't understand. The crown is a symbol of the king-like authority, and he picks SpongeBob up with in his hand. Between you and me, I've kind of have thinning hair. So, oh, it's not that
Oh,
bad. I'm
sure, it's
sure it's
not
not
that bad.
noticeable. Bald.
Bald, bald, my eyes.
So then Neptune puts the paper bag back on his head. All right, all right. So SpongeBob is like, you know what, King? Can you spare Mr. Krabs' life and I'll go get your crown back? And Neptune laughs a lot. You go to Shell City. No one has ever gone to Shell City, has ever returned. What makes you think you could? You're just a kid. Of course, upset SpongeBob again. I'm not a kid. I can do it. No, no, no. Just run along. I got a crab to cook.
He's cooked.
Cooked, eh? No, but then he does it again, puts the fire out, and SpongeBob goes right in front of Mr. Krabs. No, I won't let you. Well, fine. Then I'll fry both of you. And then Mindy comes in. So, can't you go through one day without executing someone? I thought I told you to stay in the carriage. Mindy's like, no, where's your love and compassion? She holds SpongeBob up in the air. Look at this little guy. He's willing to risk his life.
SpongeBob's face when she's holding him. This is great.
Yeah. He's willing to risk his life to find your crown and save his boss. Neptune is trying to go against it, but like Mindy continues, let him try. Like, what do you have to lose? I mean, might I remind you of your special problem? And then she picks up the paper bag.
Bald, my eyes.
Okay, very well. You made your point. I'll give your little champion a chance, but when he fails, I get to splatter crabs all over the walls. And as for you, to SpongeBob, you have exactly 10 days. And then Patrick just springs out of nowhere. He can do it in 9, 8, 7, 6. Patrick, and then the two of them start tackling him. And it's like, all right, very well, 6 it is then. Patrick is being strangled by Mr. Krabs. Like, 5. Patrick, shush. That's another good meme as well. So yeah, okay, so you have 6 days, but in that meantime, Krabs is going to be frozen where he stands. But before Mr. Krabs could really plead, he's already frozen. Then Squidward wakes up. Who turned on the AC? Mr. Krabs. Oh no, this is terrible. Who's going to sign my paycheck? Neptune takes Mindy out. Mindy has the conversation to SpongeBob and Patrick. She's saying some serious things. There's crooks, killers, and monsters everywhere, and there's a giant cyclops who guards the outskirts of the city that preys on innocent sea creatures. Don't let him catch you, but if he does, he'll be take you back to his lair and you'll never be seen again. Meanwhile, while this is explaining, SpongeBob is scared, but Patrick is in love with Mindy. So she gives him, they give him like a bag of wins. It's a magical bag I stole from my father. Once you find the crown, you'll be able to get blown right back to home. You know, Neptune calls for her again. All right, I'll see you later, SpongeBob. How do you know my name? Well, she's going to be the queen one day, so she's learned all the creatures of the of the sea. So what's my name? That's easy. You're Patrick Star. And Patrick turns red. SpongeBob is saying, you know, Mr. Krabs, Patrick, Squidward, and I pass. And no, Patrick and I are gonna go get that crown back and save you from Mr. Neptune's wrath. And he's got nothing to worry about. And then it does like the, you know, like how like the classic episodes they try to do like the oh I'm so confident, and then they do like a look at the character, looks at that, and then the character's like in a painting looking stupid. So it's like one of those things. Mr. Krabs is not very faithful. And you got a little bit of your Batman and Robin action. They go down the metallic poles and they go through an elevator, and then they get to the secret room under the Krusty Krab 2 where the paddy wagon is kept. Feast your eyes, Patrick. What is it? The paddy wagon. Mr. Krabs uses it for promotional reasons. Let me show you some of the features. Sesame seed finish, steel belted pickles, railed leather interior, and under the hood, a fuel injected French fryer with dual overhead grease traps. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Hmm.
And then they both sit in the car. Patrick asks, I thought you didn't have a driver's license.
You don't need a license to drive a sandwich.
Yeah. And I've seen people talk about this particular line before. It's like, oh, it's like people talk about contradictions in the sequel shows when the movie contradicts the show itself, like the original 3 seasons. SpongeBob doesn't know how to drive. Actually, SpongeBob does know how to drive. What he's not good at is driving under pressure.
He
There's like,
knows everything.
yeah,
He gets
there's,
he this is the written test always.
yeah, that and it's like whenever he drives like via vehicular items that are not particularly like a boat, he does pretty well. Like he's driven like a bubble boat. He's driven like, you know, the paddy wagon, of course. He even knows how to drive blindfolded. He's just not very good when he's, you know, it's just like one of those things like he's just afraid of taking a test. That's where a lot of his issues fall down. But
That's a
yeah,
great post movie episode where you enjoy like with that shark substitute teacher.
yeah, that's one of my favorites. They go off to Shell City to get the crown, save the town, and Mr. Krabs.
And Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, so they head off, and Plankton comes in. Hey there, old buddy. Freeze. I don't know. Don't trouble yourself. I'll go get the secret formula to go. And yeah, he goes out back, gets the secret formula, walks out. He says, you know, I'd like to hang around, but I got Krabby Patties to make over at the Chum Bucket. Plan Z, you're the best. And Mr. Krabs sheds a tear knowing that he was set up by Plankton. Then it cuts to SpongeBob and Patrick going near a gas station. They're singing the Goofy Goober song while they're driving, and they come across two hillbillies. Fill her up.
What I
What'll
mean,
we,
fellas?
fellas?
Mustard or ketchup?
Knee slapper. Are they laughing at us? No, Patrick, they're laughing next to
Next
us.
to us.
And then the guy's like, where are you two dumb kids headed? Kids? Now, Patrick, for your information, we're not kids. We're men, and we're off to find King Neptune's crown in Shell City. Yeah, these guys are Shell City. That's guarded by a killer Cyclops. Yeah, they're dead. You two dipsticks ain't gonna last 10 seconds over the country line. Oh, yeah. And then the country line is like right there. So they go right over. And yeah, we'll see what we can do. They go over. Then all of a sudden there's a boat jacker there. Out of the car, fellas. SpongeBob and Patrick just obey and follow. And the guy just takes off with the paddy wagon. How many seconds was that? Checks watch. 12.
Well,
In
in
your
your face.
face.
And then he slap laugh at them.
Yeah. And then they continue to walk on past the country line while the two of them, they're dead. So yeah, now it cuts back to the chum bucket where now it's thriving. Lots of customers inside. Krabby Patties are being sold. Perch Perkins is now there interviewing Plankton. How is this possible? Let's find out. And Plankton is in the interview where he's being asked, like, what, how did you get the Krabby Patty? And then Plankton makes up a sob story. Well, my dear friend Eugene Krabs was frozen by King Neptune, pretending to be really sad. He confided in me the secret wish: sell the Krabby Patties in my absence at the chum bucket. Don't
Don't
let
let the
the
flame
flame
die
die
out.
out. And by the way, you can act now and you can get a free chum bucket helmet with every purchase. And gives one to Perch, and then he gives one to everybody else. A little bit of an aside. I really liked that episode. Um, I think it was season five premiere where they had Mr. Krabs and Plankton have like their
The
backstory of like how they
backstory
used to
between
be
them.
childhood friends. I really liked that one.
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't get contradicted by anything later down the line.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody is there. Plankton is getting really happy. Everything's going well. Plan Z has been working very well. And I said, I haven't felt this giddy since the day you agreed to be my wife. I never
I
agreed.
never agreed to that.
Yeah. Which is another thing is like if you use the movies in general, it's like technically they do really love each other in the show as well. But like that's a different conversation. But I will say though, I actually don't remember. Did seasons one, two, three use Karen in the walking computer kind of thing? I don't remember that.
Oh,
She she used to just be a screen, and then there was one point where she just became like the that robot kind of thing.
yeah, like the robot, like she's like, yeah, like the
Yeah,
screen and then a stand on
yeah.
wheels. Yeah,
I don't
I don't remember
I
that
don't think the
before
first three
this.
seasons did that, but I think the movie was like the one that introduced that. And then
It might have been, yeah,
the
I don't
the
remember it
future
before.
seasons would do that a lot. They'd mix her in with like the big screen and they'll mix her in with the robot kind of thing. I just thought that was pretty interesting. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, it shows that she can like go between which platform. I'm sure one is easier than the other in different scenarios. But I just thought that was pretty interesting. Everything is going well. Well, except for SpongeBob and his pink friend. And she shows on the sensors that they're going after the crown. If they make it back, Neptune will discover some fingerprints. Tiny fingerprints. Stubby,
Stubby, tiny
tiny
fingerprints.
fingerprints. Plankton looks at his hands. Well, evil Plan Z is way ahead of you. I've already hired someone to take care of those two. He's a vicious, cold-blooded predator. It cuts to a guy in a motorcycle. His it shows like a few things like his license plate says I kill you, and on his boot it says your head here. And then he makes it to the gas station, and then he sees a sesame seed on the ground. He takes off his sunglasses. There's sunglasses underneath. Sesame seed. The hillbillies are looking at him. Hey, mister.
Hey, mister, does that take 10 gallons?
Yeah, so they do their knee slapper. Dennis doesn't react. He just goes walk over to them, tears off their lips, throw it on the ground, gets back on his motorcycle, and drives off. SpongeBob and Patrick, it cuts back to them. They're continuously walking down the road, but they're sweaty and tired. The air horn that Patrick had on him is just getting it's not working anymore. So they've been walking for a while. Going on, moving on, just keep going. Gonna get the crown. And then they come across a billboard. We're getting close. We got to be getting close by now. I mean, look, we're doing great. Shell City's only 5 days away. And then there's a wind that blows a leaf off where it says, by car.
By car.
So Patrick looks to the left or right, I'm not sure. And look, the car. And then there's like that little meme of them holding hands with the eyes, like big ball. And so they go over. So like looks inside. Everything seems to be well, but something is missing. The key. Where do you think it is? So then they look over. There's the thug tug, and somebody pretty much like gets thrown out and lands with many broken bones. They look inside. It's pretty much what you can expect. Rough and tough, and the salty spittoon, if you would. And how tough
And
are you?
this there is somebody
How tough
there's
am
somebody
I?
eating nails there without milk in that
Without any
drawing. So
milk.
that's it's a nice throwback.
Yeah, I appreciate all these things. Then they look around and they see that they found the key. It's on the carjacker's belt. So how are we gonna get it? Patrick said, I know. Walk in and ask him for it. What are you looking at?
Look at that.
I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, Patrick, that's a terrible idea.
yeah.
Sorry. So then SpongeBob was like, I'll create a distraction. You get the key. No, wait, I want to do the distraction. Okay, I
I guess
guess it doesn't
just
really
doesn't
matter
matter
who does the
who does
distraction.
this rushing.
So Patrick puffs up his chest, goes through the doors, and he walks right in the middle. SpongeBob crawls underneath. Then Patrick clears his throat. Can I have everyone's attention? And everybody just stops and just like walks all around Patrick in a circle, like full attention on what he's got to say. I have to use the
That is the
bathroom.
bathroom. All right,
And
so
like
over there.
the boatjacker looks down and sees that SpongeBob is on his fingers, like trying to get something, but then he's like, contact.
Stupid contacts. Another meme here. I like that face of SpongeBob looking around on the ground.
Yeah. And so he goes to the bathroom too. God, just like you call that a distraction? I had to go to the bathroom. So well now I got my hands dirty and he tries to get some soap, but then some bubbles come out and they're very excited. And let's have a bubble party. So they pump a lot of bubbles and they dance around and suddenly one bubble goes out in the open and they
And hi, who blew this bubble?
and
You
then
all know the rules. All bubble blowing babies will be beaten senseless by
senselessly
every able-bodied patron in the
in the
bar.
bar. Yeah, but while this is happening, the boys are pretty much popping all the bubbles
They're
in the bathroom
practically
as
trying to
quickly as
pop
possible.
them.
Yeah. So who blew it? No one knows. Maybe it was shut up and he throws a chair at the guy's face. We're on a bubble blowing. Hey, we're on a baby
A
hunt.
baby hunt. And
Don't
don't
think
think
we
we don't
don't
know
know
how
how
to
to
weed them
weed them
out.
out. Everyone in line. DJ, time for the test. No baby can resist singing along to this.
He plays the
And
Goofy
the
Goober
Goofy
song.
Goober theme song plays. Patrick and SpongeBob are really scared because they they know the song.
Because no bubble blowing baby can resist singing along to this.
Yeah, and Victor, the guy in charge, he's just walking around seeing each guy. And there's this one guy who's like, "It was you. I swear, you're the baby."
No,
No,
no, I
no,
just coughed. I swear. And it does the
yeah,
like the like I'm looking at you motion.
yeah.
I'm watching it.
DJ, turn it up
Turn it on.
louder. Yeah. And then Patrick and SpongeBob are, don't sing along. Don't sing along. I'm trying so hard.
They're like
And
literally melting.
then the guy sees that Patrick and SpongeBob are struggling. And then Victor starts saying the words, I'm a goofy goober.
Goober. Yeah.
Yeah. You're a goofy goober. Yeah. And then before SpongeBob and Patrick, they lost all patience. They're about to sing the words, but then somebody in the back sings Goofy Goofy Goofy, yeah. And then everything stops. Well, well, well. Which one of you babies was it? So the person has like two heads on one body, Siamese twins. Yeah, it was him. I don't even know that. It's Goofy 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 Goofy, yeah. Well, it looks like we got ourselves a double baby.
Double baby.
And all the thugs surround the twins, crack their knuckles, and pretty much beat them up. SpongeBob and Patrick, they get out of there. That was a close call. And Patrick's like, guess what I got? The key.
The key.
And they get back on the paddy wagon and they head back off. Then it cuts to Squidward. It's too bad SpongeBob's not here to
Was not
enjoy
here to enjoy
SpongeBob
SpongeBob not
not being
being here.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he gets on
love
his
the Squidward life.
Yeah, he gets on his recumbent bicycle and just enjoying the day. But then he's coming across like a few people there wearing some weird bucket on their head. So then he asks like a lady, it's like, why is everybody wearing that thing on their head? Oh, I got it at the chum bucket. Plankton's giving it away for free with every Krabby Patty. Chum Bucket, free, Krabby Patty,
Mhm.
Plankton,
Mhm.
giving, with.
With
Yeah, so he goes to the Chum Bucket and he confronts Plankton. You're selling Krabby Patties, eh, Plankton? That's right. And there's a free bucket helmet with every purchase. Would you like to have one? No. And then Squidward pretty much says, like, you may have hoodwinked everyone in this backwater town, but you can't fool me. I listen to public radio. And what's that supposed to mean? So Squidward pretty much says what happened is like you got Mr. Krabs, stole the crown so that Neptune would freeze him. You can finally get your stubby little paws on the Krabby Patty formula, which he looks at his hands again. And it was you all along, and but you made one fatal mistake. You messed with my
my
paycheck, and
paycheck.
I'm gonna report you to the highest authority in the land, King Neptune. We'll see about that, Inspector Loose Lips. He presses a button on Karen, which activates brain control. And
Oh, hell, plankton.
yeah, so all the buckets on everybody's heads goes down in a like covers their entire face. All hail
Oh,
Plankton.
plankton.
Seize him, slaves. Which is honestly kind of great. I know they are like slaves in the sense, but like it is interesting, like using the word slaves a few times in this movie. They also use damn as well.
Yeah,
I didn't really think about that.
it's
Yeah.
hardcore, like I said.
Yeah, so they go after Squidward, who's terrified. Who could stop me now? Who? And it cuts back to SpongeBob and Patrick. They're still laughing and imitating the guy.
We're on a baby hunt. I don't think we don't know how to weed them out.
Weed him out. What a jerk.
What a jerk.
So then they're driving, but the road is starting to get a little bumpy. You know, there's an important lesson that we should have got from this. What's that? A bubble blowing double baby doesn't belong out here in man's country. And then SpongeBob thinks about it. We blew that bubble. Doesn't that make us a bubble blowing double baby? Stop to think about it, but not too long because Patrick sees free ice cream. And SpongeBob immediately goes out to get it, oblivious to the piles of skulls that are surrounding them. And then Patrick leans back in the cars, like looks down. How you doing? To the skull. And then he looks around. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
A minute.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
Yeah. Make mine a chocolate.
Mhm.
So yeah, SpongeBob asked the old lady in the stand for two chocolates. You kids enjoy? Actually, we're men, lady, but thanks. And then he tries to take the bowl, but it's stuck on his hands. It's sticky. You can let go now. What kind of ice cream is this? What kind of old lady are you? And then all of a sudden
What kind of old lady are you?
the old lady turns into a kaiju fish where and SpongeBob can't get out, so he has to like bite the sticky hand off so that he can fall down to the car, which Patrick is now driving. And they're going full speed. The kaiju is chasing after them, and you know, and then the old lady herself is like, come on, get your ice cream. I'll even let you pet Mr. Whiskers." And then there's like this veiny like cat
Yeah,
thing
the
coming out of it too.
ugh.
Yeah. And but it gets to a point where they're going towards the edge. But like so this is what we forgot to mention. This is also where it cuts back to Dennis at the Thug Tug and he
Ah,
does like go to the
funny.
and he finds like a bubble on the ground. He blows it and he sees the faces of SpongeBob and Patrick laughing. And then out comes like everybody from inside. Hey, I don't know who you are, but
Ain't got
cowboy,
a rule here, mister. All bubble blowing babies
double
will be beaten senseless by.
senselessly. And then he uppercuts him up in the air, flying. All the guys are continuing the saying
It's like
will be
every
beaten senselessly until
every
they're
able-bodied patron in the bar.
bar.
What?
And then as that happens, the guy falls into the thug tug and the thug tug sinks down in collapse and they just watch Dennis go back on his motorcycle and just like goes away. So yeah, and yeah, as the boys are continuously trying to get out, it gets to the edge of the cliff and they have to jump. So they jump, and the kaiju eats the Krabby Patty, but then it's like floating in the air for a second, but then the trench has like this giant eel come up and eats it. The boys
This
just
is where
sit
we
there
get
and
the shocked
watch.
faces.
The shocked faces meme.
They
Well, that was a
get
close one.
demoralized too.
Yeah. And then they look on the other side of the where's the road?
Oh yeah,
Road.
road,
Road.
road, road. Sorry.
Then SpongeBob sees that the road is on the other side of this deep, dark, dangerous, hazardous, hazardous trench. And then Patrick looks down and he sees there are some stairs that can take him down. He takes a step on the stair. He hears like a lot of monster noises, gets scared, but then he puts it back on and then he puts it back on again, on and off, finding it funny. But then he said, "Yeah, SpongeBob, check it out. It's making noise." And SpongeBob is walking back. "I'm going home, Patrick." "But what about Mr. Krabs? What about us? We'll never survive out there in the trench." "This you said it yourself. This is man's country. And let's face it, Pat, we're just kids. We are not kids. Open your eyes, Patrick. We blow bubbles, we eat ice cream, we worship a
Worship
dancing
a dancing
peanut for
peanut.
corn's sake. We don't belong out here. We don't worship him." And SpongeBob pulls Patrick's pants down. "Patrick, you've been wearing the same Goofy Goober peanut underpants for 3 years straight. What do you call
What do you
that
call
then?"
that?
"Worship."
Worshipping.
And then he tries to run off and cry, which is another meme in of itself when he falls over. Pull your pants up, Patrick. We're going home. But then Mindy is here. "You can't go home. Mindy. Mindy." Patrick gets up and struggles to put his shorts back up.
Do
"How much did you hear?" "I heard enough." "Did you see my
you see my
underwear?"
underwear?
"No, Patrick." "Did
Did
you
you
want
want
to?"
to?
Yeah. So the Mindy is like trying to say, "Well, you guys may be kids, but there's like you're the only ones left to get that crown." "What do you mean the only ones left?" And Mindy pulls out like a shell that kind of shows like what's going on in Bikini Bottom. It's
It's a
now
magic conch shell, you might say.
a magic concha. So it shows that Bikini Bottom is now called Planktopolis, and all you see like everybody, all hail Plankton, all hail Plankton. They're all doing slave labor for Plankton. He has like a whip and is just making commands and all that stuff. They can see that everybody has been taken over. Squidward, Mrs. Puff, Sandy, even Gary. Meow, Plankton. And then someone was like, "Can't your father do something?" Well, then it's like, "My father's too distracted by his bald spot to do anything." Then the clam shows like where the squire is like having the trying to put the hairspray on.
Like literally spraying hair. Like, Squire, will you hurry up? The sprays in his eyes. Oh, his eyes are like hair.
Yeah. "You guys can't quit. The fate of Bikini Bottom rests in your hands." SpongeBob's like, "But it doesn't matter if you're kids. Kids, what's wrong with being a kid anyway? Kids are great. You don't need to be a man to do this. You just got to believe in yourself. You just got to
You just gotta
believe."
believe.
"I believe." That's the spirit. "I believe that everybody knows is a goner."
Honor.
And then they both start sobbing a lot, then doing that, the gross stuff they usually do with SpongeBob crying stuff. So yeah, then it cuts back to Dennis who's going through the skulls. He crushes in his hand, laughing, all that stuff. Not a lot of dialogue from Dennis at this point. Then it cuts back to Mindy again. She's thinking, "I guess you're right. You guys are kids. You can't do that. It's not meant for you, but I'm just gonna have to turn you into men." "You could do that? How? With mermaid
Little
magic?"
mermaid magic.
Then the horse is like neighing with the subtitle "Mermaid Magic." Shh. Yeah, so the SpongeBob and Patrick are very happy. We're gonna be men. We're gonna be men. So let's get started. You just gotta close your eyes. Are we men yet? Not yet. Spin around 3 times. Now keep your
Stop
eyes.
on your right foot. Don't for. Oh wait, that's a different technique.
She grabs like 2 blades of seaweed and puts them on their face, and by a little magic
It's
and
like
a
a
little one tail fin, I command the
I
two of
turn
you to turn into
into
men.
men.
Open your eyes. SpongeBob and Patrick look, it doesn't seem any different. But then he looks at Patrick. He has a mustache. "Oh my God, you have a mustache. So do you." And then they play with their mustaches for a bit. "So now that you're men, can you make it to Shell City?" They're still adoring their mustache. "Guys, yeah. I said, now that you're men, can you make it to Shell City?" "Heck yeah." Are men afraid of anything? Heck no.
No.
And why? Because we are
We're
invincible.
invincible. And they jump off the
They
cliff. And
jump off the cliff. Yeah.
but I didn't say that.
Yeah, and SpongeBob and Patrick, yeah, woo, right. Like going down. And once that energy does, like, they're just falling, falling, falling. But then SpongeBob's like asking, Patrick, yeah, why didn't we use the uh
Like, why do we
the
just jump
stairs?
off instead of just
Be
going down the stairs?
bec well, and then they look back down, scared, terrified, hugging each other. Uh, then they fall into a branch, and that makes them land safely. They say, are we dead? Oh, far from it. They're safe and sound at the bottom of the trench. And there's some roaring monsters going on, but like the mustaches have worked. You know what that means? We are invincible. And then the iconic song, Now That We're
Now that we're
Men,
men, we can do
can do
anything.
anything.
Now that
Now
we're
that we're
men,
men,
we
we
are
are
invincible.
invincible. Now that we're
Now that
men,
we're men,
we'll go to Shell City
we
and get the crown to save the
have to
town.
save the
And
town of Mr.
Mr.
Krabs.
Krabs, now that we're men, we have facial hair.
Facial hair. Now that
Now
we're
that we're
men,
men, I
I
change
changed my
underwear.
underwear.
Now that we're men. So it's just really fun. They're just going through the trench. There's a lot of hazardous things going on here and there. Because of their confidence now and with the mustaches, they're pretty much going through everything just fine. They even have a point where the guy, where like a monster like holds them up in their hand ready to eat them, but then before they can do the eat, SpongeBob just randomly just slaps his knee. It gets him to stop. Then Patrick slaps his knee, and then they do
Mr.
like
slaps themselves in rhythm.
they're slapping
Uh-huh.
themselves with rhythm.
Uh-huh.
The monster
Yeah.
is like getting some
SpongeBob.
friends to watch them continue. Go, Pat. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh yeah. And then they do like a really cool thing where they at the end, and then the monsters are hooray.
Then when the monster's over,
Now that they're men, we
then
can't bother them.
them, the other men,
They have become our
more
friends.
friends.
They'll be happy and they'll pass the test and
The
finish the
test
quest
was the
and get
quest
the
for
crown.
the crown.
They get back up to this other side of the trench. Everybody's happy, even the monsters. Yeah, we did it. And we made it past
All the
through those
hideous,
hideous,
disgusting
disgusting
monsters.
monsters.
Huh? Oh.
And they go back down into the trench. Not you
Oh,
guys.
not you guys. You
You
guys are
guys were
awesome.
awesome. But so SpongeBob and Patrick made it across. Let's we're almost there.
Time
Let's do
for
one more
one
stanza.
verse.
Now that we're
Now that we're
men.
men. Oh,
And
but
then
then
Dennis, finally. I got you right where I want you. SpongeBob asks. So Dennis is like 7 feet tall compared to SpongeBob. So
yeah, it's much bigger than them.
my name is Dennis. I've been hired to exterminate you. Exterminate us. And the two of them look at each other and they laugh. Listen, Junior, you come in, my friend, in a good mood today, so I'm going to let you off with a warning. Step aside so you don't have to feel the awesome wrath of our mustache. You mean these?
I just thought you had a piece of salad stuck to your lip.
Then it's like the way the seaweed falls down is like dramatic and slow. They were
They're fake.
fake. Of
Of
course they
course
were
they were
fake.
fake. He
This
pulls
is
down
what
his
a
like
re
mask. This is what a real mustache looks like. Is he a mermaid?
Oh, say like I like to use that they were fake. Of course they were fake. Like I use it whenever there's like AI
Yeah.
AI stuff. Then he's like, so what are you gonna do with us? So Plankton was very specific. Plankton. For some reason he wanted me to step on you guys. Step
Step
on
on
us.
us.
Yeah, that way you'll never find out that he stole the crown. They look at each other again. Perhaps I
Oh, I
said
just
too
said
much.
too much.
Then his boots, they pull out like massive spikes out, and then he pulls it over their
Please.
face. That's a big boot. Don't worry, this will only hurt a lot. Laughing
I love
maniacally.
this job. A
Then he gets crushed by bigger boot.
bigger boot.
Wait, Pat, this bigger boot just saved our lives. Yay. Thank you,
You
stranger.
stranger.
And they look up, but that's weird. He has like some kind of glass dome, but he looks down the person and it's the Cyclops.
Yeah, this is the Cyclops, a scuba diver, because he's got the big thing. The glass window looks like an eye.
They try to run away, but the scuba diver does get a hold of them, and they're trying to kick and fight, but they just don't have the strength to do it. And they're taken up sh offshore, and they la land inside some kind of wall of psychic energy. Yeah, and there's like artificial colored rocks. Patrick eats a pebble. Yeah, then it's like, oh, it's just some kind of wall of psychic energy. I think it's a giant glass bowl. Then it zooms out to see what's outside of the fish bowl. There are some fish folk that they can see. Oh, hey, guys, we need help. Get us out of here. But then SpongeBob looks carefully and he realizes that they're knickknacks. Seahorse, pufferfish, Marachi band. Those fish are dead.
Dead.
So then they hear the scuba diver is laughing. What's he gonna? Oh, he's going through his evil instruments of
The evil
torture.
instruments of torture.
Then he pulls out glue, Google eyes. He's making a humorous diorama of
Alexander Clam Bell.
Patrick. He's killing sea animals and making them into smelly knickknacks. I think we're next. Think so. And the scuba diver takes Patrick out. Then he takes SpongeBob out and he puts both of them on a basically like a heat lamp on a desk. He's laughing. Then he goes to the bathroom. And this is the saddest moment in
That is,
cinematic history.
yes.
It doesn't look too good, Patrick. You mean we're not gonna get the crown, save the town, and Mr.
Mr.
Krabs?
Krabs.
I don't even think we can save ourselves, buddy. And then SpongeBob's arm falls off. Patrick puts it back on. Thanks, don't mention it. Well, looks like what everybody says was true. You mean that we're attractive? No, I mean that we're just kids. A couple of kids way in over their heads. Doomed from the start. We never even came close to the crown. We let everyone down. We failed. Shell City. Yeah, we never made it to Shell City. Shell City.
Shell City.
Exactly, buddy. Yeah, the place we never got to. Shell City.
Shell City.
Okay, you're starting to bum me out. Then Patrick looks at the sign. No, look, the sign. Shell City Marine Gifts and Sundries. If Shell City is a gift shop, then that means there's the and they look over and they see the crown is sitting on a pillow. Neptune's crown for like what, $9, I think.
Something
It
I
was a, it
think.
was a it was a low
I
price. I
don't
remember
remember the
that.
price.
Yeah. They lean back down. Now they're happy. We made it to Shell City. We did it. We made it. I guess we did. And the two of them, they did all right for a couple of goofballs. They both shed a tear of joy. And then SpongeBob, in his weak voice, I'm a goofy goober.
Goober,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, they sing the song as they dry out and die.
Goofy, goofy, goober,
Mhm.
goober. Yeah. And then it camera pans outside in the theater, back in the real world where all the pirates in the audience are sobbing.
That's the end of SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
Come here,
Yeah. And then the parrot comes on and says, "Shut up and look at the screen." Ah, the bird is
You're
right.
right.
Look, it'd be the tear of the goofy goobers.
Yeah, because then they were singing, yeah, they cried
I
a
love
tear.
I love using this
And,
meme as
and
well.
yeah, another great meme.
So
What
the
is
teardrop is
full?
rolling down the wire lamp and it basically goes into the electrical socket and it short circuits. The lamp is turned off. The smoke goes up in the air, turns on the sprinkler system, and it opens. And then the boys are awake and everybody in the audience is
Oh,
cheering.
cheers.
We're alive. Once they got their soak in, let's go get that crown. And they go to the crown and pick it up. All right, on the count of three. One, two, three, and it like.
Hey, it's lighter than I thought.
But then the scuba diver's mask is in the way. It's ah.
Mhm.
But like before they can do anything, suddenly there's like an earthquake going on. A lot of rumbling, a lot of tumbling, and all of a sudden all the fish are starting to come back to life in the gift shop. There's like a moment it's like where uh-oh from the scuba diver, and then one of the lobsters is like holding glue and
I pulled the glue.
Google
Yeah,
eyes,
it
and
goes.
then they start
Oh,
beating the ass, beating his ass.
all while the mariachi band plays.
Yeah. Yeah. So while they go through that, SpongeBob and Patrick escape. They take the crown out to the beach and then they run with it. Then they head towards the water. All right, let's go, Patrick. Bring the camera back to you. Still have the bag of wins. I sure do.
Sure do.
Then he shows like a lump on his butt, and they're laughing, laughing, and it's he just pulls a hand out, like, here you go. And it's not what was in his pants. It's like, what? What? Nothing, nothing. So let's go over the instructions. So let's see. Point the bag away from home. Okay.
Mhm.
Plant feet firmly on the ground. One, two. Yes, right. Step three, remove string from bag and release the winds. Check. He pulls it open and the bag just flies away.
Mhm.
All right, seems
It's
simple
like,
enough. Okay, now let's do it for real. SpongeBob, and he looks out, and they both see the bag is just flying, flying, flying like an old balloon, and then it sinks to the water. No, no, I was bad. God, like Patrick's line, like it's something you missed. It was like, I was bad. I'm sorry. Please, bag. I'm sorry. I just thought it was a mistake. But yeah, now they're very broken. How are we ever going to get back to Bikini Bottom? I can help with that. And then in comes David
It's
Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff wearing
Um,
up like Baywatch.
yeah, that guy from Guardians too.
Oh yeah, Zardu Hasselhoff.
Yeah. They're happy. Okay. So where's your boat?
Boat.
Yeah, so they sit on the back of Hasselhoff. Go Hasselhoff. Next stop, Bikini Bottom. Then it cuts to Bikini Bottom. Plankton is in the Krusty Krab too. Oh, Krabs, you know what day it is today. Sorry about this
Sorry about
calendar.
this calendar.
March 14th.
Let's see. Wait,
Wait,
that's not right. It should say the day that crabs fries.
in come Mindy and Neptune. And then it goes back to the guy swimming. At this point, Hasselhoff is now gliding like a motorboat. Uh, so yeah, this is like a fun fact, but like if you see like the behind the scenes of the movie, they actually made like a giant animatronic of David Hasselhoff, so that when they do like the zoom in scenes of the two creatures, they can put it on that animatronic because obviously like on David's body, that would not really be comfortable for a camera to be sitting on.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that
Oh, yeah,
was
that's pretty cool.
yeah. Nothing can stop us now. But then Patrick looks unidentified object off the
Different object off the
hindquarters.
hindquarters.
And then they look closely, and it looks like bigger boot. But how? And then the bigger boot, it goes onto Hasselhoff's foot, and suddenly there's a green smudge, and that's Dennis. Then it comes back to Krusty Krab 2. Plankton now is sitting in a lawn chair with popcorn and it's best seat in the house. All right, Neptune, let's get it on. Eugene Krabs, your 6 days reprieve is up, and it's time for you to die. Mr. Krabs is crying ice cubes, trying to say I didn't do it. There is nothing else I can do. You can give SpongeBob and Patrick a little more time, except give SpongeBob and Patrick a little more ta 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 ba ba da da ba ba. What? Mindy, stop butting out. I won't have you stalling this execution. Stalling? I'm not stalling. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, yes, you are. You're doing it right now. I'm stalling. So that goes on for a bit. Plankton is pissed, but nothing he can do. Goes back to Dennis. So now where were we? Patrick, we need to run. No, I'm tired of running. If we run now, we'll. And then Dennis picks up Patrick and throws him towards Hasselhoff's feet. Run, SpongeBob, run. SpongeBob runs under Dennis's hands while he's trying to grab him, and then he rolls down, and then Dennis takes a knife and stabs Hasselhoff's ass.
Right
Take
now,
it
it's,
easy back
oh,
there.
take me easy about the fellas.
Now he's at a point where he's cornered. Give it up. Dennis always gets his man. And then SpongeBob looks across to one calf to the other calf. Never. And he takes a big leap. And then he makes it is in slow motion, dramatic. And then once he makes it on the other side, I did it. And Dennis is already there. You got guts, kid. Too bad I gotta rip
Too
him
bad I
out of
gotta
you.
rip him out of you.
I don't know what Plankton's paying you. He pulls out money. But if you let us go, I can make it worth your while. It's gonna take a lot more than five. What is this? That's his
Those are
goober
five goober
dollars. And you
dollars.
participate in Goofy Goober. I got bubbles. And then
Fun at
fun at
parties and
parties.
they go in his
Dennis
eyes.
and then Dennis throws SpongeBob back, which gets Patrick to catch him. So now Dennis is there and his eyes are like, red. He's got his spiky boot up. It's time for me to end this once and for all. But like
Like
sound
a
like, huh? They look around and they see that there is a
what's it called? It's like a
like a
water
caraman,
bridge thing that he's going over. Cata what?
cataman or something, cataman or something.
Cata Cata. Okay. But yeah. So yeah, then it, David goes under it and then it smacks Dennis.
See ya. Yeah, so then it cuts back to the Krusty Krab too, and Mindy continues to, so
You
you
think
think
I'm
I'm,
stalling
yeah, what am I in Crazy
in
Town?
Crazy Town?
Neptune banishes Mindy from the Krusty Krab. Then he puts magic to lock her out so that she cannot get back in. Oh, SpongeBob, wherever you are, praying to him, you have to hurry. Then it cuts back to them. They're at Bikini Bottom now. David Hasselhoff is like, this is where you get off. Bikini Bottom's directly below, but we're never going to make it. We're not going to float down in time. Who said anything about
Like, who said anything about floating?
floating? Then David Hasselhoff like moves up like a mechanism and then he uh,
It's like
initiating
his
launch sequence.
his chest
What
like
the?
opens like
And then his pecs turn into like a launcher. So, did you see that, Patrick? The control.
troll.
Hasselhoff takes the crown, Patrick and SpongeBob into the pecs, and then like, then he starts squeezing. 10 seconds to lift off. Nine, eight, and then in between, there's like an intercut of the tension going from this Hasselhoff, like this countdown sequence 10, 9, 8, 7. Neptune is saying the line, Eugene Krabs, the time has come for you to fry. And Mindy and Plankton are both saying, no, yes, no, yes. And once it gets to one, SpongeBob, Patrick, and the crown are exploding down towards the bottom of Bikini Bottom. And once Neptune fires, the crown goes and hits the crown. The fire goes and hits the crown, and the fire goes up in the air. And then Hasselhoff is on his back. You done go, Hasselhoff. You've done
You done, yeah.
and
The
he
fires come up and fry
catches
him.
on
Ow.
fire. Everybody is like stunned and looking at what happened. SpongeBob and Patrick are celebrating. Mr. Krabs, even though he's frozen, he's jumping as well in joy for what has happened. Neptune sees the crown. The crown, it's back. Mindy comes inside. He knew that he could do it. Gives both of them a hug. Plankton is sarcastically clapping. Oh, yes. Well done, SpongeBob. Sorry to rain on your parade. Oh, don't worry about me. My parade shall be quite dry under my
My umbrella.
umbrella. Umbrella.
Umbrella.
Above the king's head, there is a king-sized hatch above his head, which drops a giant bucket that has like kept him, he can't get it off his head, and then initiated a brain control sequence. Now he has the king under his control. Daddy, no. Daddy, yes.
Yes.
So now everybody, all hail Plankton. The slaves are coming inside the Krusty Krab as well. They're backed up against the wall. Neptune has his trident on, and Patrick asks SpongeBob, "What happened?" Plankton cheated.
Plankton cheated.
Cheated. Then he tells Neptune to stop. Oh, grow up. You think this is a game of kickball in the playground? You never had a chance to defeat me, fool, and you know why?
Because you
Because you
cheated.
cheated. No, not because I cheated. Because I'm an evil genius and you're just a kid. A stupid kid. Well, I guess you're right, Plankton. I am just a kid. Of course I'm right. Okay, Neptune, time to kill. And I've been through a lot in the last 6 days, 5 minutes, 27 and a half seconds. And if I've learned anything during that time, it's that you are who you are. That's right. Okay, Neptune. And no amount of mermaid magic turns to Mindy, who's now looking sad, or managerial promotion cuts to frozen Mr. Krabs, or some other third thing can make me any more than what I really am inside. A kid. That's great. Now get your back against the wall, but that's okay. And now he gets a microphone. Wait, what's
The
going on?
microphone and like smoke start coming in the room.
Because I did what everybody said a kid couldn't do. I made it to Shell
This
City and I
city.
beat the
And I beat the
Cyclops
Cyclops.
and
And
I
I rode the
rode the
Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff and I brought the crown back. All right, we get the point. So yeah, I'm a kid. Then dry ice smoke surrounds Plankton. And I'm also a goofball, a wingnut,
And a
and a
wingnut. A
knucklehead
knucklehead McSpazatron.
spazatron. Yeah, and it's like that's something I when I first watched the movie, I never realized like this is what he's referencing from earlier when all the Bikini Bottom ites that were like giving
Yeah.
suggestions of what Mr. Krabs
Yeah,
thinks
that's what
he
they're
is.
calling him at the beginning. Yeah. I didn't know either
Yes.
the first time.
Yeah, so that was a nice callback.
Hmm.
What's going on here? But most of all,
I'm
I'm
I'm what the
what the
scallop?
scallops? I'm a goofy guy.
Rock.
Yeah. So you just got, yeah, you
Comic
got your
sequence.
other, this is like your one, a few examples where the dance sequence is critical for the plot. So SpongeBob is just singing the song. You know, it's like anything that he's saying, like it is showing like visuals of what he's describing, like put your toys away.
The lyrics, if it, yeah.
Yeah.
Say I'm a kid, then I say thanks. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And then it gets to a point where he's like dressed as a wizard and then
His
like he's
dance
going
moves are
up to
impressive, but I'm in control here.
seize him. Yeah, and
Yeah, but yeah, then
Sponge
SpongeBob breaks in the wizard's outfit.
Yeah. Yeah, so he that then like he goes up in the air like as if he's flying and everybody's just looking up like even Mr. Krabs Frozen is just looking up. Then he spins around in a circle and then he guitar solo with the live action hand doing that. It generates like a lot of electricity and then all of a sudden, boom, one of the helmets breaks out. I'm free. I'm free. What the? And then SpongeBob continuously generates more guitar music and more energy to like pretty much blast other people. It's like working a lot. They're not powerful enough for this level of rock and roll. It is like Karen, do something. Karen is like being held
Karen's
in a
getting crowd
rave.
surfed. Yeah.
Yeah. And so okay, Neptune, I command you to, and then SpongeBob breaks Neptune's helmet. Mindy gives the crown back to Neptune, and I gotta get out of here. So Plankton tries to get out. Also, SpongeBob fired a blast into a satellite, and that like gets everybody outside of the Krusty Krab to also be free as well. Once Plankton is at the door, it's the wizard that saved us.
Yeah. Out of my way, fools. All right, and then everyone tramples him as they run inside. Ah, 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 ah.
Yeah, and then it cuts to later where Plankton is like the size of a footprint, essentially, from
Yeah.
all the crush. Hey, I was kidding, guys. Come
Kidding,
on.
right?
You guys know I was just kidding, right? Right. And as the car drives away, I will destroy all of you.
All of you.
So Neptune, you were right. The compassion for the sea creatures was very admirable. Without it, I probably would not be able to see my crown again. I think you're going to be a great ruler one day, but let's go home. Aren't you forgetting something? And then, oh yeah, oh right. Eugene Krabs, I forgot to unfreeze you. He does, but he turns Mr. Krabs into a human.
Hmm.
What?
Oh, sorry about that. I guess I still had it on my real boy setting.
Yeah, so then he puts it back to Mr. Krabs. And then he's sorry for falsely freezing you. And you have a very lucky fellow to have in your employment, a brave, faithful, and heroic young lad. Where is he anyway? I'm up here.
I'm up here.
And SpongeBob is hanging around like in wires. And Patrick is like 7 feet tall with like high heels. I'm on it. Then he pulls him down like using the cable. Go to him, embrace him. And Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob are together. And, Mr. Krabs uses the time to apologize. I should have never doubted you. That's a mistake I would never make. Ah, it's all right. You're an old soft serve. But Mr. Krabs says, this is important. I'm going to do something I should have done 6 days ago. Mr. Squidward, front and center, please. I think we all know who rightfully deserves to wear that manager pin. And Squidward, not combating anything. I couldn't agree more. Everybody is cheering. Hooray for SpongeBob. But another meme, SpongeBob quieting the crowd. Wait a second, everybody. There's something I have to say first, but I just don't know how to put it. Squidward tries to, use his word of encouragement and all that stuff. I think I know. After going through a life-changing journey, you now realize you don't want what you thought you wanted. What you really wanted was inside you all along. And then,
Like, are you kidding? I was just gonna tell you your fly is down. This is the greatest day of my life. Cue the last song, Ocean Man. Take me by the hand, lead me to the land. As the credits roll.
yeah. And what I appreciate about the credits in particular is like you see like what is the life after this movie? It's just SpongeBob doing his regular daily activities that he used to do as a fry cook, but now he just has a hat that's bigger and says manager on it.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great. It's in character of SpongeBob, and that's all he really wants at the end of the
Hmm.
day. That's pretty much the movie. Then there's some other credit songs. Ocean Man, as we mentioned, great song choice to have.
Hmm.
Then there's like SpongeBob and Patrick confront the psychic wall of energy. Just a Kid, The Best Day Ever, which was written
This is
by
the debut of the best day ever.
yeah, and that was written by
Interesting.
Tom Kenny, which
Oh,
they actually have a separate episode of The Best Day Ever later, I think in
hmm.
season 4 or 5, something like that.
I think it's four.
I think it's 4 as well. Yeah, so that's pretty much the movie. Then, of course, there's a little bit of a post-credit scene where it goes back into the real world where the pirates are really happy. You know, David Hasselhoff is a great artist. And then the usher, who's apparently the girl from Spider-Man
Yeah,
3.
Ursula and Spider-Man 2 and 3.
Yeah, it was the same year too, Spider-Man 2. So
Or
you folks have to leave. What?
say that again if you dare.
You folks have to leave.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. All the Yeah, and all the pirates they leave the theater, and that is how it ends. SpongeBob the movie 20th anniversary.
Yep. Awesome. I love it. I love this movie.
It's just great, man. I completely enjoyed. It really did feel like even if it ended here, for the franchise, you could definitely feel that like there was like a some kind of like level of finite, some level of tying. Like you feel like there's like a general completion here when you watch it and going off the first 3 seasons. And if that was the intention from Steven, it makes sense. I completely get it. But I also understand, like from the Nickelodeon point of view, there is a way to milk the franchise, and clearly they did it to the point where
Yeah,
it's in his 25th year. But then there's all the spin-offs too, which I'm not uh, I don't really have too much to say about those.
I haven't watched them.
One thing about SpongeBob in general as a character that I've always appreciated is like his level of positivity is just like really great. I feel like you don't really get to see that many examples, like somebody who actually loves their job or somebody that actually likes to do what they do. And, you know, there's always like this instances where he gets fired and then he gets really upset and sad and crying about it. I never really liked those because, like, SpongeBob, I don't know if you remember, like, he used to have like a lot of talent and so many other things. Like, I don't know if you remember in the first few seasons, like, he used to be like a tech kind of guy. Like he used to like build like little gadgets and things to make things a little efficiently. Or like remember the Pearl episode where he at the prom he makes like this giant like legs and
Yeah,
like
so it
he
can be long, tan, and handsome.
long tan and handsome. Yeah, so it's like it shows like his ingenuity skills. And then like you know obviously the Stonehenge episode where he uses like his artistry skills to like build like giant SpongeBob
Mhm.
to get the jellyfish to stop bothering him, even though it took like 50 years or something.
Is a Kratos.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, these are the kind of the things is like SpongeBob. I feel like there's like kind of aspects that people don't really think about with SpongeBob. It's like I think his level of positivity is like something that is really appreciative. Like you don't have like a protagonist that like hates what he does. He loves helping people. He loves to serve people. He loves his job. He loves to, even if he deserves way more, what he's good at is very good and it's very appreciative to everybody else. And I've always tried to use that for myself as well at as best as I can, like try to be more appreciative of things that I have or things that I get to do or things of that nature. So
Hmm.
that's something I, even though he's a yellow sponge, it's like there's something you can
Hmm.
learn from SpongeBob. Of course, I'll have more to say because I have this 25th anniversary video planned. I really hope it can come out in Christmas this year, but I'm trying my best. There's definitely like a lot I could say, and I really do think like, you know, for a character that's been like so important for a lot of us growing up, I feel like even like if we talk about like the later seasons, like stuff like that, and like there's always like that dissonance and like even like new fans who don't like when old fans like to say, "Oh, this was the great time, you guys suck," and they don't like it back the
Hmm.
same way. I understand. It makes sense. Like that's just like that's a natural thing for a
Yeah,
franchise that's been going on for decades.
hmm.
But yeah, I mean, even in my video that I'm working on for the 25th anniversary, it's like there are some episodes like I really do enjoy that are from the later seasons that I would like to shed some light for those that are like either older or like those that are younger. Like, you know, there are some good ones in here. I still am very grateful. for the franchise itself. And I really can't imagine what it would be like without it. I mean, all the memes,
Yeah.
all the gifs, all the lines. Uh, Operation and I do like a bunch of lines like we just like know exactly from what like we're saying.
Oh yeah. It's how recognizable, how memorable
Yeah.
this show is.
As
What I oh
we did a review on the Penguin where Clancy Brown is playing Salvatore Moroni. And
yeah,
there was a bunch of references from
couldn't help
that.
but make the Mr. Krabs jokes. This
Like even when like even the small one, like where he has a golf club and he hates it, it's like, wait a minute.
yeah, wait a minute.
I
I
I
hate
hate
golf.
golf.
So
It's just really fun, man. Again, I really appreciate this franchise. The movie itself, fantastic. I can watch it again and
mhm.
again. I actually don't mind the later movies. That's a different conversation for another day. It's not my favorite, or like I don't think they're super like I don't think they're better or anything like that. But I do like what some of the movies do afterwards. Though there are some decisions in one particular movie I can't stand, but I will say that for my 25th anniversary video. So let's just leave it at that. But yeah,
What I like about this first movie in particular, like it takes like it's literally everything that's great about SpongeBob and just yeah, just puts that in movie form. Like,
yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
it's it's hilarious, you know, it's got it's good messages of like you know, sticking true to yourself and all. So
yeah.
yeah,
And even
it's
then,
really
it's like,
special.
and even then, like SpongeBob can also hit at the heartstrings sometimes.
Yes.
I think this film does it as well.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, once again, thanks again, Operation, for recording this video with me. SpongeBob means a lot to
Happy.
both of us, and
Hmm.
I really couldn't have done this video without you. So I really would do want to appreciate
Well,
that.
thanks.
And yeah,
Oh, yeah, I was happy to talk about this movie.
yeah. And thanks for watching. For those that are listening, if you like reviews and opinions on movies, comics, TV shows, and video games, you can subscribe to my channel, Red Devilos Reviews, for more of that content. You can also subscribe to another Reviews Core podcast, where I do a podcast with my good friend Unity Review and Analysis. We talk movies and TV shows there as well, at least once a week. So all these links are in the description down below. And I hope to see you soon. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. So long.